This time we'll have a look at the navigational basics like status bar, no modals, context menus, some keyboard shortcuts, zooming, etc. Welcome to the world of holistic efficient solutions. As always, this video is uncut. We start from scratch, starting slowly. First, let me add some simple data. Never mind what or how this is done now. This is just for having a base for most navigational aspects shortly. So let's do like this. And one. Now we have some basic data inside. The first thing to watch out for is the status bar at the very bottom of the window, and depending on where your mouse is hovering, you will see different aspects. So it works in the perspective, it works in the field list, it works throughout different parts in Embrace. And it's always a good thing to watch out for. Why are we actually using the status bar instead of hovers, you might wonder? The reason is pretty simple. The hovers always tend to get in the way. Likewise, we're also not using modal dialogues. In some other applications you might know modal dialogues that will block you from moving to other windows. It's not the same in Embrace. In Embrace we will not find any modal dialogues at all, so you can always switch between the windows and get forward and backward, even for things that might make you wonder, like the quit dialogues, for example. Next thing are the context menus. Context menus also appear at different places. Just having a look in general, you see the different actions that are associated to the part you clicked on, along with any keyboard shortcut if there is one associated to, so they are hopefully more or less intuitive. By the way, keyboard shortcuts, you will find them also in the main menu bar, you will find them in the window menu bars and in some context menus. Most of the keyboard shortcuts. There are a couple that don't show up. For example, you can close the smaller windows by hitting escape. Also this one, you can hit all those smaller dialogues. You can close the bigger ones, like the shape, for example. You cannot close that easily. You either have to press the X button, or you say you have to close the shape or press the corresponding shortcut. Another one you won't find is the Control tab for cycling in between the windows. So this is something you have to know, otherwise you won't find it. Control and mouse wheel for zooming in or out in general is also something you probably won't find. But that's a thing about it. So one thing maybe worth mentioning here is the demaximize maximize, which does also have a keyboard shortcut with Control M, which is easy to recall, hopefully, which is just for toggling the size of the current window. Hopefully will turn out handy. The main navigational part is about the perspective. So if we have a look at that, and if you click inside a cell, you see the highlighted cell. It's also flashing. You also see slightly highlighted the line and the row and the column. As you move around, you see that the color will change slightly. You have different ways of actually entering data. Either you just start typing any sort of text, or you hit enter and type text and press enter again. There is a slight difference with respect to how you are supposed to leave the cell. If you just start typing and you hit a cursor key, for example, it will accept and leave. If you do some typing, when starting with enter, you can walk with the cursor keys around in there and deliberately press enter again for accept, or escape for actually aborting, canceling. The same thing holds also for those references. Again, we will explain reference in detail later on. If you click in there, you will have either click in there by having a double click or by pressing enter. You will be inside this drop down menu where you can wander around with the cursor keys, or just start typing and make a selection of the remaining. And there again, the same thing holds, depends on how you enter the cell, either by double clicking or enter, or by just typing. They behave differently, just like the normal cells do. Then you can wander around with home and end, with control left, right, up, down, as you like. You can change also cells, for example, to Boolean values by entering true or false with a hyphen at the beginning. If it's a Boolean, you can toggle just by pressing space, and if you want to enter normal text, you will see it's not possible, so you will first have to set it to undefined, and then you can enter any sort of text again. And of course, there's more to embrace, but that'll be another story.